and welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, for a Barça news roundup coming your way, because we're going to be focusing there on Joao Cancelo and on Joao Felix, the two Joaos in action over the international break. We're also going to be talking about Xavi Hernandez's future once again, and we've also got some quotes from a former Barcelona player by way of Ousmane Dembélé. There is lots coming up today and lots to talk about. So come on, and let's do it. But if we do indeed kick off here with the Joaos, who were both in action for Portugal yesterday, starting there with Cancelo. He came off the bench and was subbed on after 60 minutes of the game, and it was actually a familiar face that he replaced for Portugal at fullback, Nelson Semedo, coming off. But I think it was really good to see Cancelo getting some more minutes over the course of the international break. To get half an hour in this game, that was also after he got 1 hour of play in Portugal's game on Friday against Slovakia, and this is a player who hasn't played for the entirety of August. These are very, very important minutes. So we spoke yesterday on the channel there about potential rotation against Real Betis ahead of the Champions League, and Sergio Roberto, of course, was mentioned there in the conversation of players who could be coming in because of that rotation. But I think no matter what here, we need to give Cancelo regular minutes. He needs to be playing as much as we possibly can to have him involved in the team, to get him up to speed. We know how important he's going to be this season, and for sure, when this international break ends, he's got to be there, right there, in Xavi's team. And when you are looking at Joao Felix too, just like Cancelo, he was also subbed on for the final half an hour of the game last night, his first minutes of the international break, which again, these are much, much needed minutes, and I think even more so for Joao Felix. He has played even less football than Cancelo of late, because remember here, Felix has not started a club match since the 13th of May, way back in May there, back when he was playing for Chelsea. So every single minute right now that Felix has out there on the field, it's crucial for him, and especially last night's game was very important, because okay, Portugal, they were playing against Luxembourg, who by the way though, before last night's game, had actually won 3 games in a row, so you know, they're not the worst team ever, but Portugal did put 9 goals past them. It was a record on the night for Portugal, and of course it was a very, very comfortable match. I'm not saying that it wasn't, but I still think the goal that Joao Felix scored was really important for him. I really, really do, guys. I know that it was 9-0, but I think the quality of the goal, the way that he took it there, no matter what the opponent, no matter what the game, no matter what the circumstances, a great goal is still a great goal. You know, even if you guys on a Sunday with your mates, you know, you bang one in the top corner, you're still going to talk about it. Doesn't matter if it's only 5-a-side or something, a great goal is still a great goal. You're going to hear about it forever. And I just think here, when you're looking at this goal a little bit more closely, first of all, looking at the position in which Joao Felix receives the ball here, coming in off that left side there, coming inside into a dangerous position, and that for me is exactly where you'd want him to be. That is why he's so effective, because of what he's able to do next, the explosivity that he's able to have in the final third. Because you look at the pass there that's played into him, it's nothing special. There's nothing on that ball really. It doesn't put him through on goal, it doesn't even create him any angles, but look at the way here that Joao Felix's first touch, it opens up everything. You look at the way here that he takes it in his stride, it takes him away from his marker, and immediately he's into a shooting position. One touch, that's all that it took, and that is why having somebody there in that position with natural attacking instincts, that's what you need there. The player who can take that kind of touch, and for his first thought to be, how can I get into a shooting position? How can I make my way to goal? That is what a genuine attacking player would think there, and I think the finish, it is unreal from Joao Felix. The power, the accuracy, he just belts that into the top right-hand corner. Goalkeeper, no goalkeeper has any chance of saving that, and that is what I mean right here. Yes, it was against Luxembourg. Yes, of course, Portugal scored 9 goals and Joao Felix only had 1 of them, but that could be an important goal for his confidence there, and especially looking more at the positioning, at the way that he can operate in those areas, that for me is exactly the kind of thing we want to be seeing in a Barca shirt. And I thought it was also interesting today as well, well, because Joao Felix actually did an interview. He spoke, first of all, about the joy that he had, of course, about joining Barca, and also about the love that he's already received from the Barca fans. He said, I'm surprised at the way that Barca fans have welcomed me in such a fantastic way. He said, maybe it's because they know that Barca was my dream ever since I was a kid. He said, I really want to work hard and I want to help this team. So Felix there admitting surprise at the way that he's already been received by us fans, and plenty of players say that, don't they? Upon joining Barca, they are really surprised and wowed by the support they get. He said, I feel good, I feel confident, I feel physically good too, despite not having had many minutes lately. And he said, I am ready to play on the left because I feel that's where Xavi wants to use me. So already there, Felix thinking about his positioning on that left side, Xavi already having a role in mind for him, we assume, and it's going to be really interesting, and we are definitely going to be talking more about that soon, especially ahead of Barca's return. Bigger speaking indeed about Xavi Hernandez himself. We've spoken a great deal over the course of this international break about his upcoming renewal at the club, that everything had been wrapped up and agreed and that it would be announced very, very soon, and that is still all going to happen. But what is interesting right now is that there has been one key change in that new Xavi contract, because as of right now, Xavi apparently will only renew for one additional year. It will be now that new contract until 2025 and not until 2026, which apparently right now it's being said is due to FFP, with a one-year deal being more favourable and beneficial to the club than a two-year deal for Xavi. But there's also an understanding right now that as we progress as a team and as we move forward into these upcoming seasons, that then things will be assessed further. You know, if things are going well, then Xavi for sure can renew until 2026 or whatever is on the table at that time, but we will certainly assess things and look at where we are as we go along. And I honestly think, guys, that one-year extensions, they're not a bad thing at all. You know, we used to see that all the time with Pep Guardiola at Barcelona, whereby towards the end of the season, looking at what had happened, looking at the way the squad was, the feelings were within the club, then Pep would decide if he wanted to extend and if he could continue together with the club, very much assessing things as he went on based on those feelings and the progression. And that is why here, I think the one-year extension for Xavi, it is good for all parties to continue on this path and always keeping those standards very, very high. But when you are talking, guys, about never planning too far ahead, well, that brings us on to talk about Ousmane Dembélé. A lot of people probably thinking now, why are we talking about Dembélé? Dembélé has left the club, but hey, this is international break, you know, and I thought there were some quotes from Dembélé that did catch my attention and that has certainly generated a little bit of debate there after he said them, because he's obviously away on international duty right now with France, and he was speaking there to the media when he made a few interesting admissions, because Dembélé said this particular France team, the team that he's in right now, it is the best team that he has ever played in, talking about any team there in his career. And then he went on to say, France is also the team where I have learned the most in my whole career. So firstly there, Dembélé has ranked this France team above any Barcelona team that he's been in, also ones including their Lionel Messi. But I think the biggest snub there would be in terms of those final words, saying of all the teams in his career, he's learned most with the French national team, which I think is actually quite surprising there, especially when you consider how much energy, how much effort Xavi put into Dembélé there, the amount of faith that he gave him, the amount of confidence he tried to instill in him, and how hard he worked to actually get the best out of Dembélé. And now it just seems as though Dembélé doesn't even seem to have appreciated that effort from Xavi. He doesn't even seem to have acknowledged it there when he's talking about teams where he's learned the most and where he's actually developed most. He doesn't even have a thought for Xavi. And I just think here, with everything that has happened over the past few months and in terms of the way that Dembélé left the club, and I think that was certainly a big surprise for Xavi, and these words now will only follow on from that. But I also just want to make it clear, guys, I know that I'm talking about this today because it is a talking point, but I'm honestly not bitter about Dembélé's decision to leave the club at all. You know, he is very much free to decide his future, to go back to France, to go to PSG and try to continue his career there. And I'm a big believer in everything happening for a reason here. Dembélé leaving the club in the summer, the big shock that it was, and with Barca then not really looking to replace him with a signing in that position, we've looked from within and look at the emergence that we've had of young Lamine Yamal in Dembélé's role. It's been an absolute blessing. I'm so thankful here that we've been able to to see Yamal get opportunities to step up to the first team. His transition into that position has been absolutely incredible, and of course, long may it continue. But let me know, guys, in the comments down below what you make there of those words from Dembele. Also, your thoughts on that brilliant Joao Felix goal and everything else as well that we have discussed in today's video. I will be back soon, where we will be building up to Barca's imminent return, and hopefully there's some good performances to come. I will see all of you soon. Thank you indeed for watching and for all of your support. But until next time, as always, Visca el Barça!